Here we go. A Crossout video by Dangerously Incompetent. We're on a city map. I really should be humming it, the Airwolf theme tune. I can't remember that, so Ride of the Valkyries it is. I almost called this video the Trumpire Flies Again, because that's what it is. It's my old Trumpire build. Flying around, I thought, homing missiles, that's my starter for 10. I've got a build for that. It's got trombone to heat them up. It's got a few pyres to shoot them down, and then it's got the Argus to stop them from doing the same to me. So I'll just take that build, slap the rotor blades on the top, and away we go. And then I'd returned to the garage and started taking off structural parts because it was over the mass limit. Because the cabin's mass limit had been nerfed since I last used this build. Oh, why do they do that? Why don't, if a part's too powerful, increase the power score. If it's too weak, decrease the power. Stop messing around with the mass and the mass limits and the tonnage and the energy requirements and that stuff. Because every time you change that, you invalidate a load of builds and honk off the players. Just change the power score and let matchmaking sort it out. Anyway, after a while I got it flying, and here we are. I must say I am enjoying Here We Go, flying around shooting people. Makes a change from being stuck to the ground, doesn't it? I'm definitely going to be playing for my 2 wins a day, complete the challenge, get my pilot's container, even though the stuff in it is non-tradable. And if we can get a container every day for 45 days, which is how long Snowstorm lasts, I'm going to wind up with quite a few duplicates. But at least it'll give me plenty of crackers to do whatever on the workbench. I'm being shot. Time to do my best Airwolf impression and dodge and fly between all the skyscrapers and get away from them that way. Of course, there's always the counter of you just fly up and look down and shoot down, which is what he's done. Oh! He's rammed off my rotor blade, the swine. And where's his? Cheat hacks! Hacks! Oh, he's mounted it under the cabin. Ah, that's interesting. I'll have to try that. What crazy flying builds are you trying in this mode? In this mode, you fly like a helicopter, provided your propeller's engaged, of course. But you spawn with your propeller engaged and you're flying straight from the off, so you don't need to really worry about that. If you do press your propeller button, it toggles the propellers off and you return after a few seconds to your regular movement paths. If you're at altitude when you do this, you'll fall out of the sky. Incidentally, while we're on the subject of propellers, Gaijin translation team, these aren't propellers, these are rotor blades. You get propellers on airplanes, you get rotor blades on helicopters, and the crucial difference is you can change the pitch of the rotor blades relative to the helicopter. So you push your mouse forwards, they tilt down, the rotor blades tilt down towards the front, and you start moving forwards. Move your mouse to the side, they tilt down on that side, you start moving that way. Just like a helicopter, and then you've got more or less thrust perpendicular to the rotor blades with your W and S keys. So if you're flying level and you want to go up, you press forward. That gives you more thrust on your rotor blades and you go up. And if you're flying sideways, tipped sideways, you go sideways faster if you press W, and reverse for S. If you are having a few problems with the sensitivity, with the controls, you probably want to try reducing your mouse sensitivity, because if it's too sensitive, you'll be tipping from side to side with the slightest movements of your mouse and you'll have difficulties. And if you get out of control, press spacebar, because that returns you to level flight. But you don't need to worry so much about this as you would in a real helicopter, because you don't suffer any damage from bumping into the landscape, as I aptly demonstrate just now. And those rotor blades really are rather durable. You just bounce off buildings, off the ground, you can fall from a great height and you just land. You don't suffer damage. It's only other players that do you damage. So you're not just crashing all the time while you learn to fly. You just bump around and start shooting. To stop you cowards flying away from the combat, there are map limits, and they're plainly marked on the mini-map. If you fly outside those limits, you get a short countdown and then a self-destruct. There's also an altitude limit, and it's not that high, so you'll soon learn to lose altitude quickly. I do it by shoving my mouse forward, pitching my helicopter onto its nose, no lift from the rotor blades, down it goes. And that's all you need to know about Here We Go. Simples. And remember, if it all goes wrong, you've always got a respawn. To all those complaining about homing missile spam in Here We Go, oh, it's terrible, it's ruining it, those parts should be banned. I say, pfft, grow up. Crossout is a game of rock, paper, scissors. Lizard, Spock. It's all about countering whatever everyone else is doing. So, get your Argus, buy your Argus here. Self-defense in the age of the missiles, buy your Argus. Yep, buy them from me. I've got a stack of 13 to sell. If homing missiles carry on being popular and Here We Go, then I'm finally going to be able to sell them for a profit. I've been sitting on them for 2 years, ever since they first turned up in the Ravens Pavilion. Oh, and if homing grip missiles are giving grief, chameleons are also a good way of breaking missile lock. Additional. Off we go. Not here we go. Off. Additional. Did you notice I'm flying above the Mr. Twister map? Additional. Wires and crackers are the reward for Off We Go. I'll be looking to stock up on wires before Snowstorm ends.